Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Herta's best teams, but not just best teams. I want there to be a single team comm in this video for any one of you. Regardless whether you're a whale, free to play, many eidolons, no eidolons, there'll be a team, and that's my promise in all of these best team video we have on the channel. Now, first things first, no yapping, let's just give a quick summary. What exactly do you need to know about Herta? 4 things. 1. Whoops, I accidentally deleted a slide, but number 1, you need 2 eruditions. She benefits from having another erudition. She doesn't benefit from like 3, 4 erudition. As long as you have 2, she gets benefits. She buffs her whole entire team crit damage, which is massive. Erudition characters in general have very little access to crit damage, and a lot of their light cones come in their signature to get the crit damage, which is why Herta is actually a game changer for this class. If you think that Jingyuan's signature before Dawn was super OP, you're now slapping it in a character, making her really very strong. You just need 2, you don't need more, but you can if you really wanted to for other teams that we might talk about in this video too. Next, you want to hit more. Her whole kit scales with the more you hit the enemy, the more stacks that you can gain. This means any characters that move very quickly can hit a lot of enemies. All are generally beneficial for her. That's her playstyle. You want to hit an AoE as much as you can, as often as you can. So speed, energy, burst, AoE, these are kind of things that you want with Herta team compositions. Third, turn cycle. So in line with hitting more, you want to boost your turn cycles. So you want to push her up so she can act a little bit more, whether it's through turn manipulators, for example like Robin, whether it's turn manipulators like Sunday, or whether it's energy buffers like Ho to give your whole team energy, and etc. You want to move faster. These two are like kind of similar, but yet still different, so I set them apart. Last but not least, of course, that I want you to know is her damage is relatively backloaded because you need to charge up that bar, charge up the stacks to like as high as you can go, 42, before you can really see like a big payoff. Her energy also takes a while to get, it's quite a large requirement for her. So she's not one of the characters that immediately once she enters the field, cleans the screen straight away with like instant kind of pressing. Does take a little bit, but this is just a small gimmick. Really, it's quite similar to what we see in other stack building characters. For example, like Black Swan, but generally it's like not too big of a deal. But it's just something that I want to talk about as well. But let's go in first. Overview. What are the teams that she plays into? As we talked about the 4 main teams, she's pretty much playing into the fast and often category of attacking as quickly as you can, as many people as you can. Fast and often really means just either characters that have a lot of speed or want to turn advance themselves or benefits from characters moving a lot. She's also possibly played as a hyper carry if you want to buff her up with other characters in team like Sunday, Remembrance MC and stuff like that. But enough of this overview, let's jump in with her best team for 3.0. Now this is expensive, I'll give you more options as mentioned, but let's start off with the most premium team and explain why this works so that it funnels into other teams and future characters also, because this video won't be updated with every new erudition character that comes in, probably when she gets her rerun in future too. So the concepts here, why Jade and Herta are actually really nice, other for the fact that we do not have any other supportive erudition characters in the game. Jade is the closest proxy because of a symbiotic relationship, meaning each of them benefits from each other. Jade wants Herta to act if she's the debt collector. Jade does buff her a little bit of speed, saps her life in the process as well. That's chaotic. But anyways, when Herta moves a lot, she benefits from it as well. Jade benefits because she gets her stacks, she gets to follow up, and in turn, they just cycle in each other. They really love each other in that sense. So that's why these two are the best duo right now. We will likely maybe get more supportive erudition characters, and then Jade won't be like super priority. If any of you who are like FOMO, thinking of pulling Jade, I would just say let's chill out. There's so many team comms that we'll talk about in this video as well, alternatives for her. Other than that, the best in slot likely is going to be Robin. Robin has team-wide push, which is exactly playing into the fast and often category because they want to hit as many times as you can. Turn cycling, Robin checks all those boxes. At the same time, she does good amounts of damage on the side as well. So really nice for her team compositions too. Ho, a lot of energy that she buffs the entire team, gives a lot of attack, which everyone loves in these team compositions. A lot of sustain, so you can get by from the sapping that Jade also does, which is really nice. That's why Ho is going to be best in slot here. Unfortunately, Ho doesn't have an AoE attack in the ultimate. If not, that will make her even better because then she can also contribute to attacking the enemies too. In that sense, it's a bit expensive, but an alternative that we can also go for is a character like Ling Sha in the utility slot. You lose the energy buffing for the entire team, but you do get a bit more damage, you do get a bit more break fire AoE in the last slot, which is also very nice. So Lingcha is actually a pretty decent proxies. Otherwise, any attacking sustain character are all quite good. So you can help build stacks, protect your team and stuff like that. So be what it may, now I'm going to give you like cheaper options to run this like duo edition kind of team, which is going to be pretty much like majority of what you Herta players will be playing with. Cheaper alternatives for Robin, we are looking for characters with turn manipulation, characters that push the team as well. So you can go for Remembrance MC, it's fine too. Otherwise, Sunday is also quite good. Another cheaper option that I think not many people might talk about is, for example, characters like Esther is also not too bad because she gives team-wide AoE buffing, she gives team-wide attack as well. She's not the best because there are a lot of other better characters, but if you have no options, Esther is a free character. You can consider slotting her as a proxy for now until you get more resources to build your other characters too. So these are like some options you have. Of course, other units that buff energy, for example, Tingyun, speed like Hanya, and Bronya, single target buffing are all possibilities. Even Sparkles somewhat push, and any Harmony character can use like Dance, which pushes up the entire team. So all of them are possible. I'm just saying that these are generally the ones that might be first coming to mind. Jade, not everyone has her, so some alternatives. Herta, small Herta, big Herta, they work very well together. The small Herta doesn't take up too much skill points. She's relatively more passive, but still very, very strong together. Only thing is you're doubling down on ice. If you need to have more elemental coverage, a double Herta might not be the best, but it's still good for any of you smaller spenders. Alternatively, a good AoE cheap DPS covering another element is Serval, who doesn't really use much skill points as well, because her basic attack can splash around as well. So she's quite strong, very low burst cost, allowing her to act very quickly, very often, especially with buffers in your team that gives her energy and a lot of attack and stuff like that. So this is going to be the mainstay dual edition teams that I think majority of you are playing, but I want to give you more teams, not just that. And I think one team that a lot of people might not be talking about is going to be a triple quad erudition. Specifically, when you do not need too much sustain, you're playing in the pure fiction, doesn't matter if one character or two character dies, you're looking to burst down the waves as quickly as you can to get as high score as you can. This is where a very, very cheap template team of Herta, Himiko, that already exists in the game might be played. Of course, you can bring in a character like Jade as well, no problems there. Or you could even play like a quad, for example, like Jade in the last slot and many eruditions to just do a lot of damage, giving your whole team like crit damage. So they just keep following up, a lot of AoE attacking, helping you push quicker. If you are not super well invested, you need DPS, you don't mind if some characters die in the process, you just want to get the clear, consider trying a 4 erudition. It might work quite nicely as well. Some other options, of course, that I'm thinking of is in the last slot, if you don't want to run a quad erudition, you still want to go with sustain, you can run Ho-Ho, Gallagher, Natasha, all these kind of units that sustain in the back slot. Esther, of course, if you're running a bit more offensive to buff the whole team and use like dance and stuff like that to give your team more action advance, more attack. That's also another option. But triple erudition, I see it definitely being quite viable, especially in pure fiction game mode. Outside of pure fiction, you might want to go with dual erudition for a much more balanced team comp for survival and damage. But that's not all. So we talked about 2 already, but let's talk about number 3 over here. This is a bit crazy. So I covered this, but this is basically touching on a crazy break team. Typically, Himiko is the one that a lot of people will be thinking of. If you're a newer player, don't stress. I think you get her for free at 300 pulls, or if you joined like one patch ago, you could pick your standard character as well. Otherwise, not to worry, I give you options too. In this video, there's tons of options available for all of us. But typically, Super Break Himiko, very popular in the game state. She's erudition. She generally doesn't mind critting. She doesn't build too much break effect, even in a Super Break Himiko team composition. So this is actually a comp that opens up, especially if you are running with characters, for example, like Harmony MC, together with or characters, for example, like Fucc, which gives you that super break aspect, allowing your whole team to just do super break damage on top of whatever other damage they are doing. You lose a bit of action advance with Fucc and stuff like that, but if you use Harmony MC and Dance, you still get a lot of that action advance back, and at the same time you get additional damage on top of whatever it is. A lot of AoE that they provide as well, they do a lot of AoE damage, and of course in the utility slot you can run break benefiters, for example like Lingsha, for example like Gallagher, for example like Ho-Ho, which buffs your whole team in terms of energy attack. All of it super good. You can do a lot of damage this way, scaling into a hybrid break team. Of course, your DPS, you have other options, and a bit of a crazy one is Rapper. Although Rapper does want to take a bit more DPS, more mainstay. If you're running with Rapper, who is less preferred, the crit damage from Herta is going to matter a lot less because Rapper generally skills builds very high in terms of break, doesn't care too much about crit damage that much, but still okay about it. Overall, I think this is another team that is worth considering. I think it's a bit crazy, that's why I call it Crazy Break, but I think it could be quite exciting as well if you think about it. Other than that, another one that I was just thinking off the top of my head that I want to try myself, I don't think it's good enough to put inside the box. What happens if we run, for example, Akirion in the last slot with a double Nihility, double Erudition? I don't know. Maybe it might work in a pure fiction game mode. Let me know in the comments below. Just something that I'm thinking out loud. But of course, last but not least is new player teams. To help all of you, I want to give you a team comp for all. So my recommendation is going with free characters like Herta, Serval in the first 2 slots. Generally very solid characters, low burst cost, very, very synergetic. All benefits from the crit damage that she provides. If you don't like Serval, you want a more harmony character for a bit more flexibility, Esther is also really strong, gives you a lot of attack, team-wide healing. Natasha is of course free, so everyone starts out with her. Otherwise, you can go with a character like Lynx. Gallagher, if you have him, he is of course, I don't think he's free, he's probably still a gacha, but he is a 4-star, so I'll add him in this team if you have him as well. But yeah, those are my team compositions, best teams, and let me know in the comments below, do you like this kind of format? Do you find any of these teams helpful? And which teams are you running? Or perhaps it's anyone that I didn't cover yet as well? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out these 2 other videos that I think you might like as well, and see you guys in the next video.